And it's really dramatic because murders are happening, and how can that happen to doctors? Is this too good to be true? And it turns out that it is. Hi everyone, welcome to my next review for the Radio Times Book Club, sponsored by Dr. Oetker Ristorante. Now this month I chose A Particularly Nasty Case by Adam Kay, a classic crime story that's the perfect pairing for this classic mozzarella pizza from Ristorante. Let's get into it. I absolutely loved A Particularly Nasty Case. For starters, before I'd even begun reading it, I loved the book cover. I loved the fact that it was green. I loved the whole medical side of it. I was excited, I was interested. I just wanted to get in there and start reading it. And then when I did, it just gripped me. It tells the story of Eitan, who is a doctor that's had to take quite a bit of time off, really ever since his sister died, and the effects that that has had on him. And he's now going back into work in the hospital again. He's being sort of looked after and monitored by the other doctors because he's been suffering greatly with his mental health. And he's gone back in, he started his surgeries again, and suddenly there's a murder. I was really excited first and foremost because it's crime, it's a murder. That's right up my street. I love crime stories and murders. But then also the whole medical side, and then also there's a glimpse of comedy in there. With Adam Kay, there's always like, you know, a really dark sense of humour, and you can see that in here, and it makes it exciting, interesting, fun. I just loved it. I think my favourite character, well, I really liked Eitan. I thought he was lovely. I liked it when he came back to work. He's trying his best. Everything seems to go wrong. And it's funny, but also it's serious as well, because I think the way that the mental health and his side of things is put across is really good and really interesting. And it is, you know, like you can see problems with people if they're physical, but as soon as it's in the brain and it's your mental health, well then nobody sort of notices it. I really liked Eitan, everything he's going through, that he's trying to solve this. He's dogged, he's determined, he wants to try and solve this murder that's happened. But also, I loved Margaret. I loved her. When the book first started and you see her, she's in the office crying, I had this whole idea of what she would be like as a woman and as a person, and it's not what she turned out to be like at all. And the way that she is with Eitan at the end, she supports him. She's the only one he's really got. And she's lovely. I think she's great. I didn't have a character that I really hated. I mean, I didn't like Douglas Moran, you know, the big consultant, because I thought he was mean to Eitan. But even though there were certain characters that I didn't like, because in the story, they aren't very nice or they're being mean to Eitan, I still liked them because they were a joy to read. With Adam Kay, he just has this ability to make really interesting and funny and unlikable, but then also likable, you know, real people who've got flaws and are what people are really like in the real world. And then with the whole of the backdrop with the hospital and all of the medical stuff, it was just like this whole world that I didn't really know about and that I was interested in, and I want to find out what's going to happen. And it's really dramatic because murders are happening, and how can that happen to doctors? And it was just brilliant. I thought Eitan's quest to solve the murders was brilliant. He won't give up. I mean, no matter what's happened, he's been arrested, he's in court, he's being, all this stuff is going on, he's being evaluated, and he's not giving up. And even when you kind of think that he's given up, you know, Margaret comes and she's pushing him on forward, he just doesn't give up. He's determined that something has happened. And it's brilliant because you're with him the whole way. And it's really interesting to see the side of it where he's trying to solve all of it and put all of the different pieces together. I was shocked when Cole was revealed as the murderer, but I did have inklings beforehand that it was going to be him. When it was coming towards the end, I'm starting to think, right, it's got to be someone that I know. You've got to start looking out for things now. It's going to be someone, it's going to be one of these. And I started thinking, it's Cole, something has happened previously. And Cole, he's the porter in the hospital, but there's something else is going on as well. So it was exciting when it was revealed that it was eventually Cole. And then it's like this whole complete and utter change to him. Because he's lovely, he's adorable, he's gorgeous, he loves Eitan, and you just think, God, is this too good to be true? And it turns out that it is. Oh my God, I loved the moment that Margaret dropped down with a heart attack. I was shocked. I actually gasped out loud because I wasn't expecting it. I was starting to get suspicious of Cole when they were all having a meal together, but I genuinely didn't think he was going to do anything right there and then. So when Margaret dropped down, oh my gosh, it was shocking. I thought the portrayal of mental health in a particularly nasty case was really well researched and delivered and written. I mean, Eitan, you are there with him throughout. You get to see all of his different evaluations, what different people, psychiatrists, doctors, the people who are looking after him, what they've written about him. And I just thought it was really interesting because he's going back to work and, you know, he's trying to be perfect and trying to do his job, but as a human being, you're not perfect. And it must be so difficult to go back into your work environment, and if you are in the least bit sarcastic, or you make a slight slip up, or you say something that, I don't know, is a bit risky or that you shouldn't have, or you're a bit sort of cheeky, it was just really difficult for Eitan because everything is just going against him. And I thought that was really interesting to read. And I just thought it was a really interesting side for him to be, you know, dealing with his mental health and then going back into work and just seeing how that then plays out. Oh, I've read Adam Kay's This Is Going to Hurt, and my children have read, oh my God, as much of his stuff as they can possibly read. And there's always an audiobook going at night time. There's always an Adam Kay audiobook going at night time, which is so funny because one time I walked into my 10-year-old son's bedroom and he was out cold sleeping and the audiobook was still playing. And Adam Kay was telling us, I think it was about reproduction or fertility. It was something quite detailed, and that's what had set my son to sleep that night. So I suddenly turned the audiobook off and just thought it was quite funny. But I love Adam Kay. I've read his previous work, my children have read his previous work, I've read his work now, and I can't wait for him to bring out his next one after this. I would recommend A Particularly Nasty Case to people who love a crime story, a thriller, a murder mystery, and also a bit of comedy. It's a classic. It was perfect to eat with this pizza because this is a classic as well. And so the pair of them matched together. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I would give A Particularly Nasty Case 5 out of 5 because I love Adam Kay. I love his previous work and I just loved this story. I really liked all of the medical stuff and finding out all of the different names for the procedures. I loved all of the characters. I loved the story. And it's weird because you can just sort of hear and kind of see Adam Kay there as well. And it just made me really, really like him too. I just really enjoyed the book. Well, I think that's definitely another winning pairing. If you want to try it for yourself, you can grab a copy of A Particularly Nasty Case at the Radio Times shop. Pick up a delicious Ristorante pizza from your nearest supermarket and give it a go now.